Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm so excited to see you. Have you ever had a lucid dream? Well, today's live stream, our Saturday spiritual podcast, is going to be about lucid dreaming and what it could be telling you about the other side. So, one of the reasons why I'm so excited is because we've had a member here that has been on our channel since the very beginning, and he's asked me not to name his name, but he had a lucid dream. He had a pet pass away and he really missed his pet. And he had been watching our show, both the live streams on Saturday and also the NDEs. And he really missed his dog. And he thought, maybe I could see my dog just, one more time. And, you know what it's like. Have you ever had a pet where they've passed away and you miss them? Let me know in the comments if you have had a pet that has passed away or somebody very special to you. And also let me know where you're coming from this morning. Let me know if you can hear me and see me because I'm on a new live streaming platform today. That's why I was a little bit late. So thanks for your patience. Okay, so let's see. I didn't even have time to do my hair. I was like, oh God, no, just bun. It's a bun day, right? Okay, so Shelly G is here. Maria is here. Crispy, hey Crispy, good to see you. All right, now and Marcos, really good to see you. Yes, so what happened is I did not even have time to send out an email to my special people on my email list to let them know that I'm on live, and they can always see it later. But anyways, let's get back to the lucid dreams. I had one last night that I'm going to share, but before I do, I want to share this member's dream. So pardon the raspy voice. Yesterday I was making a Zen rock garden as well as these other little plants. I think they're called succulents outside my door. As you know, I'm in the middle of transition. I'm moving. We're building a home out there, and I'm in my cute little trailer. It has taken some adjusting, but hey, I am loving the experience. And with that, it's a segue into, oh good, I'm glad you can hear me and see me. This is a segue into dreaming. So the experience part. Don't let me forget that word experience, okay, you guys? If I don't mention it, don't let me forget it. Okay, so this person who is on our channel, he lost his dog. Meant a lot to him, and we communicated because some of the people who are on my live stream are also members of the channel, which you can be if you click the members only join if you want to. Basically, with the members, we're a little bit tighter. We communicate sometimes via text, but mostly in Zoom, where we meet after the show. Anyways, let's get on with it. So he had a vision of his dog in the clouds. He's like, maybe I can see my dog in the clouds. Have you ever had that where you wanted to see an angel in the clouds or a sign in the clouds? Or maybe you have seen something in the clouds. So he thought, oh my gosh, I saw the perfect shape of my dog's face in the clouds. And then he thought, well, like we all do, maybe that was a coincidence. Hi, Balance 00. You're in Minneapolis. Oh, Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Oh my gosh, all you guys. I love you all. Okay, so Balance 00, I read your comment about the Queen. Let's talk about it because it really got me thinking. Okay, so he saw this vision of his dog in the clouds, and he thought, that's a coincidence, maybe. I really hope it is. Then he went home and he had a dream that his little dog was scratching at the bottom of his bed and asking to be picked up. And then he picked the dog up and loved the dog and said, how can this be? Because, you're dead, you died. And was a very painful experience for him. He had the dog for 13 years, so there was a major, connection and love for this dog. So anyways, then last night he had a dream that his dog was there, and he knew that he had deliberately met up with his dog, and he was so affectionate with his dog and had a great connection, and told me some more of a story which I'm not at liberty to talk about. But the thing is, not only was he communicating with his dog who had passed away, but he was sharing the love and affection, and this person who had the dream was transcending this dimension and moving into another dimension. And that is what excites me. Then I thought about it. Well, even though I talked about it on the show, I didn't teach them this. This is something you can do, that I can do, that we all can do, but it requires a level of belief and faith. And when I talk about faith, I just mean believing without fully understanding or knowing. Do you guys get that? So, like, there's belief where you think you know something, and then there's faith where you want to believe, you don't know, but you're putting your faith into it. And that's, hi Cheryl, good to see you. Hi Anne. Oh my gosh, everyone's here today. Yeah, so he believed and he had faith. After his first dream, we had talked about it, and then now he did have that dream. But even more importantly to me, maybe not to him, but to me, is that he transcended this dimension to go to another dimension. And that, my friends, is very exciting, because last night I also had a dream. And so here's how it went. And maybe you guys have had lucid dreams too. And here's how, telltale signs how you know that you're in the dream, and suddenly you realize that the people who are in the dream are dead, or they're not alive. And they're in spirit, I guess you could say. So let's let the airplane go by. Yeah, so what happened was I found myself in a classroom, and there is these two beings, and they said, Sylvia, teach the class today. And there must have been between 50 and 100 people in the class. And there were two levels to this class. The upper level was very full, and the lower level, I could sense that the lower level were not as awake or aware. So these beings that were asking me to teach, I could feel off of them that they were super intelligent beings. And I could feel it off of them. And they said, go and teach. And I was like, sure, I can do it. I didn't even know what I was teaching or anything. I just was excited. I've taught a lot in my life. I spent hours and hours teaching anatomy and physiology. I taught fitness. I taught a lot of different things. I love languages, learning, teaching. But anyways, I got there and I thought, well, what's the curriculum for this class? And they said, no curriculum, just teach your experience. And I said, well, do you guys have any books for them? And they said, look, and you'll see they have notebooks. So they all had notebooks. So I started to notice, I thought, well, what grade is this that I'm teaching? I started to notice there was grade 2s and there was grade 3s. And then suddenly there was like people from college. And that's when I started to notice this was a mixed group of ages. And I started to think, these people are not alive. We're not on Earth here. I was teaching in a different dimension. And I was like, whoa, this is so much fun. So for some reason, and it's so silly because I would never do this, I said, okay, for the very first thing, what we're going to do is we are going to just write down the alphabet in lowercase. I was very specific. I said in lowercase. However, because I knew that there were more advanced people there, I said you could do it in uppercase or lowercase. And here's the sort of miraculous thing that happened. The people that were like in grade 2 and 3 type of mentality, they were writing simplistically. And then the people that were in college, they were weaving the letters into intricate patterns and drawings. Like, they were very artistic people. And it started to dawn on me that this was a place where they may not know that they were dead, but they came for some normalcy. So why am I so excited that I went to the other side? Well, I've done that many times, and that was exciting. But what was more exciting is to understand that when we transition from this dimension to another dimension, notice how I said another, not the next dimension, not just the other side, because that implies that there's only one dimension, but there are many. And yes, all right, the experience thing. So when they said to me, just teach from experience, I realized that our experience in this dimension is very valuable in other dimensions. And also that you don't need, this is the message I got personally, that you don't need permission to know how to teach or to live or to actually actualize your self-worth. You don't need to hold back, and you don't need permission to be the person. So if you really want to be something, now sometimes on earth we have, if you want to be an attorney, for example, you have to pass the bar. But they were showing me that on in dimensions that are different or higher, I guess you could say, than this dimension, you don't need permission to be anything. And that guilt and shame hold us back, and keep us in a lower state, a lower vibration. I guess on earth we would call it a low self-esteem. So this dimension, is very important to overcome that sense that you need permission to do or to be anything in your life. You're allowed to use your own experience and your own essence and your own being to have your life. And it's coming to me right now. Don't waste the opportunity on the fear of feeling that you're not capable enough or good enough to be who you are, because this is actually it. This is actually you living on a dimension. You don't have to wait to die, because there is no such thing as death. And I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, okay, Sylvia, there is no, hi Nifi, there is no, hi Magdalena, there is no such thing as death. Then why do people go to funerals? Why are people in coffins? Why are people buried? That is a symbolic, and I learned that from my dad's funeral 29 years ago. That is a symbolic way that we understand on this dimension that somebody has transitioned to another dimension. So it's actually a good topic to get into. Maybe I will. Yeah, you let me know. Do you want me to get into that symbolic, why a funeral and why a death is symbolic? See, because we have to make sense of it. We have to make sense in our mind that somebody has gone from here to there, wherever there is, okay? Let's not assume that there's just one dimension that we're going to, that there's multiple dimensions, and that the earth is one of the multiple dimensions that we're on. So as we walk around in a semi-sleep state, we're not spiritually awakened yet. Then what happens is we need to make sense of it. Why did my dog die? Where did my dog go? Why did my dad die? Where did my dad go? So we have these symbolic funerals, and that way we can make sense of it, and we could say, okay, that's final, and the person has moved on. But in reality, you can meet and interact with these people through your lucid dreams, through your astral travel, however you want to call it. I have had an astral travel. It's slightly different, where I was astral traveling, and I looked down and I was like, oh my God, how I didn't have my physical body. I had my etheric body, and I noticed it. So there is a difference between the lucid dream and that. So excited for the member here who had the lucid dream. Congratulations. I am going to give a clap out for that. Woo! I wish I could say the person's name and share it, but they have asked not. I also got an email from somebody from last week who said that he really enjoyed the show, and by the way, if you're enjoying the show, please, for me to help circulate and grow the channel, give it a thumbs up and a comment in the comments area now or when we're done, okay? That really helps. So this person wrote to me, and he also said he didn't want to come on the show. I wanted to invite him to talk about his experience that he dreamt of his father who had passed away. So many of you have such amazing experiences, and don't be ashamed and don't hide it. This life is for you to live, and don't let other people's thoughts or opinions or judgments stop you from fulfilling your true purpose of expressing yourself fully. And don't be afraid to make mistakes or to look foolish or awkward, because that's the way that we can grow. If we put it out there, it can be healed, uncovered, and we can grow and learn. Okay, let's read some comments. So Cheryl said, yes, death should be a celebration. Yeah, because because people who have lost you feel sad, but it is a celebration because that person chose to go. Which leads me to sickness. Don't let me forget that, because I have something I want to share from the Course in Miracles here about sickness, okay? I hope this all works on this new platform. Okay, so Nufi said, well, we all need food, water, air, shelter, no matter our status, and we are all made of flesh and bone and blood and bleed red. I arrest my case. We are equal. Our egos may beg to differ. Oh yeah. I don't know what the whole conversation was going on there, but yes, we are equals. Absolutely 100%. Now, I will challenge you on that we are flesh, because you see, in order for us to make sense and interact on this dimension requires for us to have a physical body. So in that physical body, we interact and we choose. But remember, not me, but science tells us that 99.9 or 8% quantum physics say that we are empty space. So yeah, again, not me, but quantum physics says this. However, if it's your intention to project yourself as flesh, you will, you can, and you will be seen that way. And everybody else will perceive you as how you project yourself. And you look like your intention. Your body is a manifestation of everything that you are being, everything you are thinking, everything you are feeling. So the way people perceive you, young, old, whatever, brown hair, blonde, that is you projecting who you believe that you are. So if you have low self-esteem, for example, and you don't really feel good about yourself, and you don't feel shiny and bright, or whatever your problems that you have, they're all being broadcast to the universe, um, to reflect upon itself and to be seen that way. What does that mean? That's such good news, because you can decide to be a supernova anytime you decide to be. I won't forget about the sickness thing, because this is really a big deal in a lot of people's lives. Sickness and death. There is a relationship between them both, and it's not as obvious as you would think. Okay. Yes, yes. Magdalena, in our dreams, or Madalena, in our dreams, I often do works in other dimensions, and at the day, sometimes I'm talking with dead people, I'm assuming. Honestly, for me, there are no boundaries. Excellent. That's exactly who this channel is for, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I think that this light might be too bright. I don't know. Anyways, I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I want to attract here in this safe environment, is people who either have been to other dimensions, or who want to go to other dimensions, or who believe in other dimensions and need a little bit of support. I'm here to say they do exist. We have an entire eternity of dimensions to experience. We can take rests when we need to, but there's so much to be excited about, that I want to make sure that people who are suffering through anything, whether it is a low self-esteem, whether it's a need of permission, whether it's a lack of anything, whether it's a lack of money, a lack of whatever it is, that look, you're in a dimension that's being projected by you. You have the power to recreate your thoughts. I know it sounds so, even when I hear myself talking, it sounds so like, you know, I forget the word, Pollyanna, but but it's absolutely true. The hard part to believe is that we think if we just think it, it's going to happen. Well, the way it works is, yeah, if you think it, but it's actually deeper than thinking. It's the deepest desire. It's your deepest belief systems. If you believe you're unworthy, unfortunately, the circumstances around you will build up to prove you right, because the universe is there to reflect and to serve you. So however you want to feel, the universe obliges you to feel that way. Most people think that the universe is going to come and help us, but it does, because it does our bidding. So whatever you're bidding the universe to reflect, it will do it for you. All right. And let's see. Okay, so Nufi also said, and I want to make sure I read as many comments as possible, but because this is a continuation, let's read Nufi's. You are saying we don't need to ask for permission earlier. Now I already forgot about that. I was saying we're all equal in human form. Yeah, well, sure we are. Like, the only difference is that this drives me crazy that it's so bright. Let me just turn this light down a little bit here. Hold on a minute. Hold on, kids. Is this darker? Yeah. Okay. The only difference between you and me and anyone else is your intention and your projection. So you have the right to project, and you don't need permission to project anything you want to be. Wealthy, healthy, shining bright, lovely, all those things. But if deep inside you don't believe that that's true, no matter what you say or how many affirmations you write on the wall, not going to happen, because the universe only displays the reflection of the absolute truth of your being. And this is actually the best news ever. Some people might get offended and say, that's not true, not true, not true. But the reality is that if you accept the truth of that being so, you have the power to transform who you are being within, and then it will reflect without. And then an entire dimension builds up around you to support your belief system and what your intentions are. So as you step through the day, as you wake up to each new opportunity, you are waking up. You are either going to remember all the bad things that ever happened to you in life and woe is me and the news and blah, 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 or you're going to create. Most people won't create the new reality, not because they don't want to, but because it can be a lot of work. Inner work, it can take a lot of responsibility to understand that the circumstances that are built around you are you. And people are like, no, it isn't. It was like, it was this, it was that, it was not me. And as soon as you understand that you are responsible, you are going to have such a good time. I promise you. Now, I recognize that there's a lot of pain, even for me. Like, I'm constantly having transformations. I was in a funk for about 1 week, almost feeling a bit depressed. And I had this dream, and I chose to believe and to know. And what they told me personally is, Sylvia, you do not need permission to fully spread your wings and live your life. And oftentimes I have been also conditioned, or lack of awareness, or lack of awakening, that sometimes I'm sleeping too over things, but I don't beat myself up. I don't say, well, I should know better, I'm teaching. No, I am like you. We are all equal. And the only part that makes us different is what we're projecting. Okay. Victor said, all this is just pseudoscience. It's honestly not real. It's like a religion. You believe in something. You make me feel better. This is hilarious. Good. Excellent. Yes, do feel better. Know this, Victor. You are eternal. You have eternal amounts of opportunities. You can do it over a million zillion times. You will never die. However, you can have some, let's say, shitty experiences. Yes, I said it. If you are not aware of what you're doing, it's like, hey, if you never took any lessons, or you're not aware that you're driving a vehicle, you might go over the white line. You might even have a little crash. So it's important to understand you are the driver, and the more aware you are of how to drive, and the more awake you are of looking at the road and having a GPS, the more you will have an enjoyable experience that you have somewhat control over. I don't want people to feel that they need to be a control freak, but it does feel pretty good to have control over our lives, especially if we feel that other people are controlling it. So I today am saying to you, brothers and sisters of equal stature, you have my permission, your permission, our permission, the universe's permission to live big and to live and be who you truly want to be. Okay? And who cares? Because anybody who is going to judge you is just a reflection of the part of you that you are scared of. Boom. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you. So I went to the hardware store because we're building. So I had to pick siding. Yep, exciting. I had to pick siding and roofing. I'm the person that does the design part, and my husband does all the building part. Anyways, so I went up to the counter, and there was a woman there. And I'll tell you, she was the perfect reflection of everything you could imagine that somebody would treat you not so great. It was like undoubtedly, completely, she just had no intention of wanting to be helpful. So for 1 second, I thought, oh, she just treated me and my husband very poorly. Then I thought, no, Sylvia, you are a victim of nothing. And she is a projection of everything that you don't want. And so when you want something or you don't want something, you equally reflect it. Let me repeat this. When you don't want something or don't like it or really like it, you have equal power of creating that into the universe. And it's exactly, I mean, she was the exact being of what I didn't want to experience. So what did I do? I walked away and I thought, yeah, no, it's fine because that person doesn't offend me because that person's me. It's my imagination's worst case scenario. So then I go around again, and there was this gentleman there who happened to be her boss, and both he and her were the most helpful. They gave us a whole bunch of samples and everything. Why? They didn't change, I did. I'm the one driving the bus. You're the one driving your bus. If you're seeing something, love it or don't love it, it's you and a part of you. So when you weed out those parts of yourself, you end up with beautiful flowers and a great garden. Okay, yes. Nufi said, reread what I wrote. Yes, but if we are all projecting the same thing, neither negative or positive, what a bland world. Diversity is what keeps. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you see, Nufi, you're the one that said that we were all created equally. Now what you're saying is, well, it would be a bland world if we all thought the same. So you want us to be equal, you don't want us to be equal. Equality is a word that I believe we made up in order for us to try to understand what's going on. And if we understand this fundamental truth, that we are all one, and we are all reflecting different aspects of ourselves. And that's why it is interesting. It's just that some people get so downright offended by what they're experiencing that they feel like it sets them back in their spiritual growth and in their personal experience. And it's my goal to help people who feel down and out to get inspired so that they can feel and do better. And one of the members mentioned to me, they said, you know, when we see you online, we think, oh, you've had a wonderful life and, you know, everything's going good. And I have to tell you that I do feel like I had a wonderful life, but not because I didn't have experiences that were treacherous. That's why I'm here. That's why I know it's through experience. Just like in my dream, the teachers told me, go speak through experiences. So the experiences that we have that are not so pleasant, they're great learning opportunities. They're great learning opportunities. Okay, let's try to read some different ones here. And Wellborn put a bunch of hearts. Thank you so much. And Maria said, Victor, you are clearly seeking or you would not be on this chat. Happy searching. That's awesome. That's so awesome. And then Kim says, many years ago, I woke up, Kim Renee, and realized I left a classroom. I was teaching small beings in it. And it was ordinary stuff that I know without a doubt. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Kim. We are all learning and we're all teaching. We're learning here, we're teaching there, we're having spectacular experiences. So this brings me to a part where I surely hope I can find this from the Course in Miracles, where it tells us a really cool truth about sickness. I'm just going to take a little sip. Thank you. And then I'm going to go. The lighting is really wonky today, but next time it will be better because I'm learning from this experience. Okay. So, oh, hey. Are your comments coming on? Like, if I do this, does it come on? Boom. Let's try this. Oh, yes. Look what I can do. What I can do. So, I will continue doing that. Flesh vibrates at a lower rate. Well, does it though? Maria, I always love your presence here. Does it though? Oh, Patricia said something. Patricia said, although some of my loved ones have passed and I miss being with them in the physical, my spiritual bond with them is stronger than ever. Yes, Patricia. Yes. Are you still here, girl? That was like 14 minutes ago. Sorry it took this long. You got to know, it takes a minute for me to sort of get all of these in here. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Let's talk about that Course in Miracle thing. Let's see if I could share it. I'm going to go to share screen. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the windows. And then I'm going to go Chrome tab. Okay. This is it. Let's see. Oh, are you guys just seeing this? Or are you also seeing me on the screen? Okay. Hold on a second. Let's see if we could do this. Yowza. Okay. Well, this is where I have to get creative with you all. So, oh, I think I got it. Add dynamic. There it is. But it might be a bit small for us to read. What about that? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I want this on and I want this gone. Remove. Okay. In the Course in Miracles, which I'm kind of loving right now, I saw the Course in Miracles when I was 16, but when I looked at it then, I was like, no. And now, absolutely love it. And the room moderator and I, we read it together frequently. And that would be Shelley G. And it talked about sickness and how sickness does not exist. I promise you I will have it. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put it in the notes below what I was about to read. So sickness does not exist. However, we can, because we have free will, we can allow ourselves to use that as a way to mitigate our desire to leave this experience. To either leave this experience or to try to draw in more attention. Now, with all due respect to anybody who is not well, I'm being very respectful, but the reality is that our Creator made us whole, and as we move through our experience, sometimes we don't like it and we feel like we can't get out. So we will create, just like we do with everything else. So why wouldn't we do it with this? We create situations where we attack our own body or our own mindset, more appropriately stated, because our mindset is what dictates what the body's going to do. And then we are not well. And either because we have to learn something or because we just don't want to experience that anymore. So there's a whole story around it that we do create, and it happens frequently. And as you could attest to this, okay? How many people do you know got sick before they left? And I will say, I can use my father as an example because I know he wouldn't mind, and he's been passed away for 29 years. So my father, he was a great guy. Loved that guy. He and I had a great relationship, and funny and insightful. I had no idea how smart he was until like years and years and years after he passed away. But anyways, he wasn't having a good time. He really wasn't near the end. And then he died of cancer, and then he left. So before he died of cancer, and presumably it was because he was smoking, but as we were leaving a treatment center for chemotherapy and radiation, he said, he got real mad at me and he said, you know what, stop being so stupid. You don't know. It could have been anything. He said it could have been, he was angry. He was never angry, by the way. So I was totally accepting of this. I knew that he was dying. So he said, you don't know what it could have been. He said, I worked in the Fiat painting cars. He said, it could have been that did it. I was in the wartime. It could have been that and the chemicals I was exposed to that did it. Don't make that assumption and put it on to me that I'm dying because of that. And I thought, interesting. Interesting. And then I realized now, 29 years later, that he just wanted to go. And he was allowed to go. And I didn't want him to leave because I didn't want to be left alone. So that's why I was upset. But there's no reason to be upset. And when I dreamt about him, he said, Sylvia, stop crying because I am busy. I have things I'm doing on other planes. And I thought, I didn't realize that my dad was such a busy guy on some other planes, because you see, I was looking at it from the earthly eyes. And now I understand that his existence will continue on and he will always be my love in my heart, and I will always be his love in his heart. But here I am having a great time. Oh, and by the way, he said to me, he said, you have your life, now live it. Stop trying to lean on me for your life. Live your life. So I thought, oh boy, like it almost felt like a punishment, but it wasn't. He was giving me great advice. Great advice. All right, let's read some comments. Much love to you, Victor. We appreciate it. Somebody said, on other planes, laugh my ass off. Okay. So there are different dimensions, and I'm not trying to, and you'll know this about me, I get hilarious comments too, like, oh, you're going to capitalize on this, you're going to make so much money off this, blah, blah, blah. Not true at all. So you can put that to bed. If anybody ever donates in the chat, that's what it is. And if you know and you have a channel, you realize that it's a lot of work for not a lot. But anyways, back to the topic. If you know about science, like I love science, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you should look into quantum physics. And quantum physics is a very real school of thought. You can already, they will tell you there are other dimensions apart from the third dimension. They will also tell you that there's no such thing as time, as linear time. You'll also learn concepts like that through physics and quantum physics that help you to understand. It's just that our mindsets are so sleepy that we don't even find it interesting half the time. Like some people do and some people don't. And the people who find it interesting are usually people who are searching for the truth and who are searching for answers. So when you put the facts, the somewhat facts that we do know about our reality, and then add spirit to it, how is it that hard to understand there are other dimensions that you don't see? And for those people who are doubting Thomases, let me explain this. Right now, I can turn on a television or even YouTube, and I can go to all different kinds of channels. Well, where is it coming from? Where does it exist? If I turn on the radio, I will hear multiple channels. Well, where is it? If I turn on a light, there's electricity. Where is it? We can't see those things, but we know they exist. And there's proof of their existence. Just like my light turns on from electricity, my TV turns on, I can change the channel. How do you prove that? Well, it's because our minds don't quite understand fully and we can't wrap our head around it. But my goal, I don't, like, honestly, I mean, I would love it if people would be able to see how much joy they can have in their life and how much opportunity, how many dimensions and eternity to live in. I mean, that's my goal, is to make people happy. I want you to be happy. But if you don't believe it, it's no skin off me, because you will learn it. It is your destiny to move in that direction, because that's God's will for us. God's will is that He wants us to learn. He loves us. He wants us always to know that we are whole and that we have everything. And so I really don't worry about it. And I'm certainly not that person who wants to convert. I love to create a space where I attract and give support. I want support, and I want to give support to people who understand, hey, there's more than what meets the eye here. There's more than what I'm understanding. And through my dreams, which I feel are a gift, I'm getting it. And through the messages, through people who have passed on, they are helping us. The dog of the person was helping the person. My father was your dreams were helping you. I would just like us to wake up to not need permission to live and be our best selves. And if you're finding yourself in an impoverished state, not just through money, because money has nothing to do with it. It has to do with your mindset of what you believe you deserve deep in your heart. If you don't think you deserve it, it won't be there, because the universe serves us. The universe reflects us. It doesn't cause onto us. We cause unto it, and we receive the consequences. Oh, that looks like a good place to end. So I'll read a few more comments and questions, and then we'll head out. Beautiful stories about your father, Magdalene said. Thank you. Oh my God, my father. My father. Love that guy. His name was Giovanni, which means John. And he was so funny. The things that he would say, he would always say, just don't forget, you're the fastest, you can do this. He would just fill up my head with very positive. Okay. And Balance 00, science is the new religion that allows or disallows certain thoughts and beliefs. Spirit is where we come from. Yes. So yes and no. I don't want people to think, oh, you don't have a spirit because you believe in science. Science is only man's curiosity about itself, and it's only limited by its level of intelligence. Science is only limited by our level of understanding and our ignorance. However, science is good because science is our curiosity. It's when we give authority to science or religion. It's when we give authority, unwarranted authority over our lives, that's when it becomes problematic. And we give our power away to either science or other communities because we don't feel powerful, and we're not cultivating our own power within ourselves that God gave us as our gift. It's much easier to look to someone else. Just like my dad said, hey, live your life. Stop depending on me to live your life. Live your own life. Then also stop depending on the news. Stop depending on a science thing. Start thinking for yourself. You can use a little bit here and there, and you can cultivate through your brothers, and that's an important thing, to love your brothers, respect your brothers, learn from your brothers and sisters, love them, on and on. But when I say science dictates that, I'm not saying I believe this because science said so. No, because tomorrow there might be a new thing of curiosity that we did learn. How about believe in yourself? How about believe in the God that created you? How about believe in the Christ consciousness within you? How about believe in yourself, in yourself, in yourself? And the reason you won't believe in yourself, maybe you do, is because that requires loving yourself. And loving yourself requires that you don't judge anyone, because as soon as you judge other people, you're judging yourself because they're a reflection of you. And that's why I told you that story about going to the hardware store, because I knew that if I was judging that woman and I didn't accept her as my own, that she would exist much longer than needed. So as soon as we judge, we're projecting that aspect of ourselves, which is an impoverished aspect that is unappealing, that we don't need to judge. We need to love it, accept it, internalize it, and move forward. And so that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes I will try to simplify it too much, and I don't want to complicate it, but everything that you see around you is a projection of either what you love or what you don't love. And so this is joy is a thought. Joy is more than a thought. Right. Okay, sorry about that. Joy is more than a thought. Joy is a way of being. So when you are joy, you project joy and you receive joy. So when you are honest in your love and your compassion for yourself and for every aspect of yourself that you see, you will experience joy to the degree that you allow yourself to be joy. So when you are joy, you see joy. And when you are compassion, you see compassion. When you are supportive, you receive support. When you think healthy, you become healthy. When you think wealthy in terms of abundance, you become wealthy in terms of abundance. When you hate people that have things and abundance, that means that you feel that you are deprived of that, and you project that onto someone else, and you give that person power or situation or circumstance or group or whoever it is. So when you do that, you're disempowering yourself. Remember, you're not going to be on this dimension forever. It's important to wake up to where you are so that you prepare yourself for any other and better dimension. But if we choose to stay in a state of denial and judging everything, unfortunately for us, we will remain here as long as we need to, and the universe will permit it, and God will permit it, because God gave you free will. So if you want to be whatever you want to be, you will be it. And by the way, you don't need permission to change being who you are. Not mine, not anyone's, because God gave you that free will. Okay. Patricia said, Sylvia, you make such a positive difference in this world. Of separation. Oh, I got to put this on because the last part was gold. Sylvia, make a positive difference in the world of separation. Yes. That separation is in your mind, and that is what is called the split mind in the Course in Miracles. And the split mind is deciding that you are you and I am me. So as long as you are you and I am me, I will look out for myself and not you. But that is an ignorant way of looking at it, because if I see that you are me and I will love you as myself, as Jesus requested, then I become whole. If I surpass my ignorance and think that I'm an independent person without you, and love you as much as I love myself, and cultivate that, that's when you're winning. You're also having your best life and your best experience is when you cultivate that love for yourself and other people, because 1, you become whole. 2, you become wealthier by default, not in a monetary way, in every way. Because if you are me and you have all these experiences and talents and love, then I become more, and lovelier and wonderful. Okay. There is Anne is discussing. Okay. Let's see what Magdalena says. Believe, and it's getting easier because we experience. Experience is what you can deny. Oh, I deny for a long time. We can just allow and trust our deepest wisdom. Right. So Crispy said something. We got a few minutes left. Got 6 minutes left. The only thing that people want even more than money is respect. This is so good. You guys are so awesome. Let's go there. Let's go there. Okay. Yeah. Well, yes, Chris, you have my respect. So respect is one way to put it. But what we really want is to be acknowledged, to be seen, to be heard, to be valuable, to be important, to be loved, to be cherished. We want that individual experience. So we come as an individual to be recognized as one part of a whole. And that's okay, obviously, because it's happening. It's okay. Don't need me to tell you it's okay. The problem lies when you separate yourself so far into exclusivity that you now become lonely, sad, and depressed. And I can share through an experience I had where I was in this industry and I decided, oh, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. I became an author, well-known author in the industry. I became a well-known teacher in the industry. People asked for my autograph in that industry. They love me in that industry, on and on. I just posted something recently. 9 years ago, this person took a picture with me and posted it on Instagram yesterday. By the way, follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to like this because it really helps. If you want to hear more of this, or if you like it at all, please give it a thumbs up and comment. Helps. Anyway, she put it on my Instagram and I thought, wow, even 9 years later, there's that sense of respect. And so many people were disappointed when I let go of that because they thought, well, you were really somebody in that industry. You were well respected and you should have had more respect, kind of thing, and not leave that industry. But that's an illusion because I'm the same person. I haven't changed. I know all those things and more. I've opened myself up to a new dimension. So the respect factor, if they respected me because I was going to stay that way forever, I can't do that. I mean, I have to move and change and grow and experience. So when you say people need to be respected, I think what people really want is to be loved. And the only way to do that truly, and I learned this through my students in that industry, they absolutely loved me when I made them feel good about themselves. People love you when you have a way of helping them in the way that they need to be helped. That's when people love you. If they admire you for certain things, like what you look like and what you wear, then you're also giving them joy in a different way. But when you use your talents to help people achieve what they want, people will love you and respect you and honor you for that. So, our goal and our job is to use our talents to shine so we can help other people and become whole. Why do we care about that? Because those other people are also you. And yeah, it's a big loop. Kind of hard to wrap your head around if you don't get it at first, but if you do get it, kudos to you and let me know in the chat that you do get it. Prashant said, oh, last time Prashant, I missed saying goodbye to you and I was like, oh, dang it, I missed it. So let's put you up here. Yes, people want to be loved. Absolutely. They want to be loved. It just depends on what you think love is, right? So our perception of it. Real happiness, it comes when you see others, they are happy. Yeah, for sure. Shelley says, at Anne, awesome. Glad you were here with us. Nancy. You guys. Okay, Nancy. Shelley, Nancy had a lucid dreams and OBEs and other visions. She's amazing. Yes, and here's the thing, guys. You all do. You either remember your dreams or you don't. You all have 100% equal access to other dimensions. The only thing, and this is how I'm going to wrap it up, the only thing that stops you from being able to funnel in the higher awareness is limited awareness. Limited, and when you hold on to your belief systems that are outside of yourself too much, it limits your ability to open up and receive the universal information that is accessible and available to everyone. So when someone says, that person's a psychic, or that person had a lucid dream, or even myself last night, just a few hours ago, had a lucid dream, was on a different dimension, does that make me better or different? No, because we all have access to it. And when we do become more aware, it's almost funny and ridiculous that we think that it's so important. It is important, but everybody has access to it. It's not exclusive to certain people. But when you don't believe in yourself enough, when you don't love yourself enough, and when you're not open to receive enough, then you feel you're missing out. you feel deprived or impoverished in some form or another. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself for me, would you? Because you are part of me and I want to be whole. I want you to be the best version of who you are. Because I love you and I love myself, and I want us to be integrated, because without you, I'm not whole. And without you, I'm not as expansive and all encompassing that I could be. This is why it's important to me that you also heal. Well, it's not just totally selfish, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to be here again next Saturday live at 10 a.m. all the time. And once a month, if you're a member, we get to meet on Zoom. Also, I do frequently text with the members that come in if you're at the inner circle. We have an inner circle level that you can join. Other than that, you can do something for free, absolutely free. That's super helpful. If you want to be a supportive person, you could write a comment under the video. I know you chatted here, but those chats don't count to YouTube. You have to write them in the area so that more people can join our community and have awesome conversations. If I didn't get to your comment today, believe me, I wanted to. I don't want one stone to be unturned. I don't want one person's heart not to be heard. I hear you. I love you. I want to continue connecting with you in this way. Thank you so much for taking your time. See you soon next Saturday. Oh, before I forget, I am making the videos with those clippets of NDEs as well. It's just taking me a little bit of time to figure out the copyright things. Talk to you soon. Thanks again.